There's a lot of talk about regulating energy. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, a podcast about life, looking at life from a new perspective to gain wisdom and understanding in hopes to know yourself more. When you hear someone say regulate energy, what does that mean to you? If I listen to people talk about regulating energy, they're often talking about how many of us are living in a high stressful environment and how our stress hormones are running at an increased rate, and we're essentially burning out our bodies. We're essentially depleting ourselves of the valuable energy and nutrients that we have, that we're just burning at a higher rate than we really need to be. There are many different methods and ways that we can manage and regulate our energy. I feel like I've tried a lot of them. I also believe that's something that we all have to do. We all have to create our own formula. We all have to create our own rituals and our own personal lifestyles. That somebody out there can't give you this regimented routine every day unless they really know who you are and your core characteristics. I have a history of my mind going off the rails. And then what that means is I can hypothetically create a scenario for something that could possibly happen. Doesn't mean it has. It doesn't mean there's any indication it's going to, but my mind can see a situation and it can completely run with it to the point where we're talking about worst case scenarios. And so I get that. And when I live in that state, it is draining, it is exhausting, it is just a depleted state to be living in. I decided a few years ago, I'm not going to do it. Some of this also comes with age and wisdom and coming into myself as a human, as a woman, knowing who I am more now than ever before. I've talked about this previously, that I am wired for worry. I can see all of the potential pitfalls into something, and I can either choose to live in that state of fear and stress, or I can choose to live in a state of acceptance and in the moment. Oftentimes when I do happen to be in those states now where I am not managing my energy, when I get stressed, I feel myself leaning towards stress and worry. I don't let myself run with those as much as I used to. I have the tools. I have the knowing. I can tell myself this hasn't happened and that I need to stay in the moment. Unless something is happening in this very moment, then I don't need to worry about it, to focus about it, to hone in on it to the point where I am impacting my current mood. When I notice myself starting to worry about the situation or a circumstance or something that's happening in my life, when I drill down to the core of that, oftentimes it isn't my own belief that is causing the stress. It is a belief of my parent and what they believe as acceptable or appropriate. That oftentimes it is somebody else's belief in the circumstance or the situation that it's actually causing me the stress. I, myself, don't want to do the corporate job anymore. I don't. I don't feel that corporations have my personal best interest. I believe the system is structured up to support the few at the top by exploiting a lot of the levels below. It's just not for me. I understand that my parents grew up in this time where the company provided necessities. They provided health insurance, they provided a pension, and it really was the only place that you could get those. But times have changed. We have access to everything through non-traditional structures. And so if I talk about my belief in not supporting corporate America and how it doesn't work for me with my parents, if I talk about that with them, I can literally feel them getting upset. I can feel the stress. I can feel the energy. I can feel how uncomfortable they are with that. And as a small person, as a young adult, I naturally absorbed some of those beliefs. I absorbed some of that mentality and that understanding, and it still resides within me. So when I have those moments where I feel more stressed, I feel tension and unease and uncertainty for no apparent reason, for no known indication that it just comes out of nowhere, I often have to look at what is that feeling that's coming up in me, and is it mine? And a lot of times it's not. It's this perception of what people think of me, even though we try to walk around in this world and we're like, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter, what they think of me. There are still parts of us that carry that are stressed because I'm not doing the traditional route. What does that feel like for me? And what does that feel like for them? And then how do I navigate those feelings? And so when I do get stressed, I often notice that it's not my own beliefs that are causing me stress. It's somebody else's beliefs of what they think I should be doing. And bless their heart, they only see the one path. That's the only path they took. That's the only path they know. And they can't understand my path. And that's very stress-inducing for them. Regulating my energy nowadays includes self-awareness of what I'm feeling. I have to keep myself in check. I have to recognize the signs of when I'm stressed. I have to pay attention to my body. I have to be aware of what I'm thinking in that moment when I start going somewhere. And if I don't have the time in that moment to figure that out, I need to make a note of it. I need to write it down. I also have to spend some time working with my energy, whether that's meditating, whether that's breathing, whether that's exercising, however I need to do, whatever I need to do to connect to my intuition, my higher self. Any and all of those tools help me to manage and regulate my energy in ways that I can't simply just do by thinking, that I have to turn the mind off and turn on the other senses that I have. Regulating my energy also includes following my energy. What I mean by following my energy is a lot of us have these lists of things that we should do. A lot of times it's not anything that we think is a priority, but it's something that we were taught and was ingrained with us that is necessary, that is important. Now I realize that I am carrying around so many other people's beliefs that are not my own. I follow my energy now. If I think that I should do something and I have zero energy or desire to do it, that is not a priority for me today. I have to find something in my day that is worth me following. If I don't feel like doing 4 loads of laundry, we all have clothes. I don't know who's running out of clothes. Seriously, I don't. I have family members that do laundry every single day. Why? Nobody's running out of clothes. Anybody that I know has closets full of clothes. If I don't feel like doing the laundry, I don't do it. There are days where I feel like doing it. I listen to those cues. I listen to those signs. We have just become a society where we just do things because somebody told us we should. I am going to say this until probably the day I die. When I cross over, when I finally make it to the end of my life, I am not going to be graded on, did I do laundry every single day? It doesn't matter. Why is it so high on the priority list? Disclosure here, I have family members who will wash clothes through 2 cycles. They probably didn't even leave the house that day. Their clothes were not dirty enough to wash through 2 cycles of a washing machine. But that is something for another day. Regulating my energy means, 1, I have to pay attention to how I feel. 2, I have to accept how I feel and stop overriding that with somebody else's priorities. 3, I have to find ways where I connect to my intuition and shut down the monkey mind. I have to. We all have to. We have to figure out where we can carve out time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Several times a day. Sometimes it's probably best if we could do it at least 10 minutes 3 times a day. It's a checking in, it's a grounding, it's a resetting. And anymore when I know somebody is worrying about me and my lifestyle. And I can be pretty brutal at times. And I will simply say, you know what? You need to stop worrying about my own salvation and worry about your own. Not everyone who is providing information has your own best interest in mind. 2025 is really a year to start connecting to you, to listening to you, to prioritizing you. It's all about you. And you have to learn how to regulate your own energy. And sometimes we just have to do the things to figure out what we really need. Thank you for listening to this podcast of Tracy Talks. Please like and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. And until next time, we meet again.